Negative and intrusive thoughts can affect your emotions, body feelings, and behavior. Today, I want to talk to you about how to cope and reduce the impact of intrusive thoughts. Hi, and welcome to Clarity with Jadivan. Thank you so much for watching us today. Please like, share, and subscribe. I often hear I cannot control my thoughts. It is difficult to control your thoughts, but it's not impossible. It needs persistence and practice. First, let's talk about the cognitive coping technique that is used in the cognitive behavioral therapy. The cognitive behavioral therapy talks about the situations and triggers affecting and generating thoughts. Those thoughts impact our emotions and body feelings, and therefore impacts a behavior or act or what we do about it. So I'm going to give you an example to make this maybe a little bit easier to understand. I invited my friend over for ice cream, and they did not show up. I call them, I text them, there's no answer. That is called a trigger situation. The trigger situation affected and generated a thought. My initial thought, I'm not loved. That thought generates and impacts my emotion. My emotion, let's say, is sad. And if I'm going to give a score or a level for it from 0 to 10, where 0 is not sad, 10 sad, extremely sad, I might say 7 at that time. And what are my body sensations during that time? Maybe I felt low temperature, low energy. That affects my behavior. I went into my room, isolated myself, I started crying, and I didn't want to talk to anyone for hours. Now, that does not stop always there. There's often more thoughts, more emotions, and more behaviors. So I started thinking more about it. I start feeling upset, more sad, the level of sadness go higher. Behavior might be like, I cry more, I go on Facebook to stalk them and see what's going on. And that might trigger more thoughts, especially if there's other situations that happen there, and the cycle continues. How do we stop this? As you see, the thoughts impact emotion, and that impacts behavior. So the main one is the thoughts. If we are able to stop or change those thoughts, we're able to change how it is impacting our emotion, and that how is that affecting our behavior. In order to change those thoughts, I encourage you to start identifying those thoughts, write them down, and then examine them. Are they facts? Are they assumptions? Are they judgment? Are they a description? Identifying how much control you have over a situation might help you change the thoughts. Often I have seen that people think that they have more control over a situation than they do. Now, try to use the skills and tools that you have learned today and in previous videos on reducing the impact of your thoughts on your body, on your emotions, and therefore your behaviors. Let's go back to my example that I gave you earlier, where my friend who I invited for ice cream did not show up. And the initial thought was, I'm not loved. First, examine that. Is it fact? Is it not? Is it judgment? Is it helpful thoughts? Is it not helpful thoughts? What other thoughts could I replace the I'm not loved to? Could I change that a little bit to My friend might had an emergency or something came up. If you put that thought, how would that impact your emotion? Would you still feel sad? Would that emotion change? Would your behavior change? I believe it would. In my case, my sadness would go back to 2 instead of 7. And as a behavior, instead of isolating myself, I might still eat my ice cream and text later, a day later, and say, hope everything is okay. In this video, you have learned how a situation affect the thoughts. The thoughts impact emotions and body feelings, and that affects our behavior. You have learned how to examine your thoughts, helpful thoughts, unhelpful thoughts, using skills and tools to change your thoughts, emotions, and therefore behavior. This is Jadivan in Clarity with Jadivan. I hope you liked this video. Please like, share, and subscribe.